just wanted to respond to the opening remarks we heard from our Andorian colleague that they have 700 years of experience being between big countries. Well, Georgia is a small country as well. Great, and we are in between of even bigger countries for many, many centuries. And I'm ready to just make a deal with you and exchange our neighbors, and I will demand any compensation, although they are much bigger than your neighbors there. But this is good kind of starting point when we're talking about security mechanisms around the world, because usually when there is no security mechanisms, proper mechanisms, who are suffering smaller countries. But in smaller countries, there are the people and humans who live and who have the similar rights to live and to develop their own nations and as they want. So in current world, what we are witnessing now, yes, many, not only small countries, but big countries are concerned about the lack of security as well. And this has become kind of global phenomenon. And this is the new development, new turn, if you want, in this issue. Because not only security is not constant phenomenon, as previous speaker already underlined, but the security mechanisms are not constant as well. Because the international system itself is not constant. Because international system by itself is composed by different components which are changing, and therefore the system must be updated and taken care constantly. Therefore, when we are talking about the issue whether there is the attempt to revise existing global security mechanisms, yes, there is such attempt. But at the same time, probably there is a need of reforming very same mechanisms. Because revision is in a way that, well, the international mechanism does not matter, and bigger power can go and do something what they want to their neighbors. Yeah, we don't want to see this kind of revisionism of the global security instruments. But at the same time, to see that the rest of the world is almost hopeless when some big countries go and occupy territories of smaller neighbors, well, then we would probably should say that there are some reforms necessary in order to prevent such action and not to allow such things to happen, or if they happen, then the things are reversible and things could come to the original space. My country, Georgia, at the moment, unfortunately, is attracting attention of people from around the world, not only because of its beauty and some other positive things, but because of the fact that we are kind of good case study on this issue. Where we are now, what's going on with the international order, security system, and what is the perspective of that? Because, unfortunately, the Russian occupation of Georgian territories has become that kind of case study. However, we must underline that this case was not properly analyzed and lessons were not drawn properly and timely, and that's why we have bigger problem now in Ukraine and with Ukraine. So what we see is that the expansionism of Russian power system is kind of going on, and the international system is not able to prevent it or to make any predictable plan how to reverse things from that. Well, we can spend hours in analyzing why it is happening. Of course, there is an explanation why Russia is acting like that. And many Russians would kind of just explain that and say that, yeah, that's okay, because that's the natural Russian statehood. Well, Russia as a state was existing in the process of growing, and that's kind of the identity of the nation, that's the identity of the statehood. Therefore, when they stopped growing, now, well, they felt that it is again necessary, and they are doing that. Well, yeah, explanation is there, but should the rest of the world be, again, as I underlined, be so weak to prevent this? And where are the probably some mistakes? As it also was rightly mentioned by a previous speaker, In security, we mean many different aspects of security. But if we go back to some 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, well, world leaders would talk about world security, but they would stress on climate change, on poverty, on many other issues, food security, which are so vital, so important for millions of people, if not billions. However, the talks about kind of hardcore security or security proper was not on the table, because it was somehow kind of concluded that big powers would not enter in such dramatic confrontation that it could come to that point. But then suddenly we saw that that's not the case. We saw such a dangerous situation in Syria, when several important world actors were just acting in so small piece of territory, and then yeah, something happened between Turkey and Russia. But there could be more, and nothing prevents us to see even more, because the tension is so close between big powers. So all the issues about the real wars, about real military confrontation are on the table. So, was it a mistake to conclude some years ago that this phenomena is gone? Well, yeah, it was a mistake. It was a mistake because the source of destabilization of the world system was not properly understood and analyzed. It was very in a simplistic way concluded that after the breakup of the Soviet Union and at the end of the Cold War, some things will happen kind of in a logical way. If history was developing and humanity was developing in a logical way, then, well, probably we would not have so many conferences on so many issues. The thing is that it's not always logical, because there are so many contributors who are against the logic as we understand it. Because if logic is peace, more freedoms, more democracy, more prosperity, yes. But look to so many states around the world. Are these values and logics recognized as real values and logics? No. And there are different combinations. You see that probably economic growth is there, but without freedoms. Or you could see the otherwise, some populistic approaches about the freedom without proper attention to economy or social welfare or so on. Therefore, yeah, probably we should be less relaxed after the end of the Cold War, that security system around the world could be well based on the system what we have now. Now, what we hear as possible solutions about the not revising but reforming the global security mechanisms. We here in Georgia are sometimes very much concerned and even alarmed when we feel or hear sentiments like, why not to go back to Cold War system of security? And what we mean under that, what we hear with that. Let's face the reality that confrontation with some powers like Russia is too costly, too dangerous, too unpredictable, and so on and so on. Therefore, why not to give this right on spheres of influence or near abroad or neighborhood about which Russia could take care of, and will keep this kind of so many different nations and small countries or semi-states and so on under some control, as it was during the Cold War. Because when we are talking that during the Cold War there was balance of power and that kept kind of stability and peace around the world, we need to remember what was the cost of that stability. The cost of that kind of stability was hundreds of millions of people living without basic freedoms and rights. Because some power structures were given this kind of, I don't know, right, okay, control those territories, and then keeps kind of. Do we want to go back to some kind of such system? Not that system, but anything similar to that? Probably not. Therefore, we cannot think about this kind of reforming and then making sure that, okay, there's a deal, that Russia is not threatening bigger Europe, but it can keep Eastern Europe or Caucasus or some other places under some kind of influence. So that's not an option. To continue as probably it happened during the last 10, 15 years when the world system and security system was based on unipolar world and one superpower being given almost uncontrolled, unlimited power and also responsibility to take care of the peace and stability around the world. Probably that's not the right thing as well, because at least part of the problems we see now in Middle East comes from this kind of sole responsibility and actions, which we are not balanced by equally influential actors around the world. Therefore, that system cannot deliver peace and stability as well, because this whatever is unipolar or whatever, it has features of monopoly. And the monopoly, yeah, it is effective until some time, but it is effective in making big mistakes as well. Therefore, what we need is to reform that system, and the system which I believe will be more effective and more relevant will be, yes, multilateral system, but not in multilateral I don't mean Cold War-like balance. Russia and its friends on one hand, and democratic countries on the other hand, which are kind of constructing peace and stability. No, we should think about system among democratic countries and nations, which has more features of collegialism or participation, resource sharing, responsibility sharing, and collective action. Even Georgia, which is struggling in these difficulties, from our side, we see the necessity of our participation in that system. It's kind of joke, because we are net recipient of security services or whatever, because of the circumstances. But we understand how important it is. This is the main reason why we have more than 2,000 soldiers in Afghanistan today. This is what we can now, because we cannot contribute $200 million for the same reason. What we have now, we have our military. Tomorrow, we will be ready to be financial contributor as well. Or we are ready to make available our territory or whatever facilities, infrastructure, for the reasons which the democratic community has. That's why we are so desperate, yes, to join NATO, because we believe that this is the logic of the development of security system. We see it, because it's not about Georgia only. It is about much wider territory. If the security system based on democratic institutions is enlarged and is stronger. So these are the thoughts which we may have on the issues. Final word, I would again refer to previous speaker, and yes, liberalism is the right answer to these kind of problems, because the other concepts like nationalism and other things which we see around the world, they are only deepening the problem. They are only making the issues even more difficult to solve tomorrow. The liberal approach, openness, freedoms, and the other issues are so important. Therefore, I'm glad to represent Georgian Republican Party in the community of liberal parties in discussion on these issues in future as well. Thank you.